What's going on, people? We are back with another video today. The first one we filmed in like 2 months. But we are back in the shop today working on our buddy Bennett's truck. He's the fellow that has the other little orange Chinese Bobcat or skid steer. But this is his truck, and it has a locked up motor. But before we rip this engine out, we're just gonna verify, which he already put a wrench on the crank and it wouldn't turn, so it should be locked up. But we're just gonna check one more time before we rip this engine out. But if it's locked up the way it's supposed to be, and it probably is, we're gonna pull this engine out and rebuild it. So we're gonna check that out real quick and then see what we have to do from there. Got a socket on there. Yank it, Cody.
And it has no spark plugs in it.
No spark plugs in it. So it's not hydrolock. Yeah. It's seized up. We're going to rip this engine out of this thing now. So we'll drain all the coolant out of it if it has any of that in it. And then start pulling stuff off. We've got the coolant draining right now. We're going to go ahead and start taking everything loose from the top that we can find, and after we get everything off the top, then we're gonna
go to the bottom,
lift it up and disconnect the transmission. We're gonna leave the transmission in the truck. We'll disconnect the exhaust pipes. I think that should be it under the truck. So we're gonna go ahead and put you on time lapse, get it out, and once we get the engine out of the truck and start tearing the engine apart, then we're gonna actually get it more into detail, and we're not gonna be time lapsing everything. That way we can all figure out what's causing it to be seized up. So let's get... Most of the stuff on top taken off. I think we got most of it. But we're gonna go ahead and pick this thing up and start taking stuff loose. Start taking stuff loose underneath. So we'll get this thing jacked up, take everything underneath, and then hook our beautiful new Pittsburgh engine hoist and pull that engine out. So let's get on with it. We're under the truck now. Got it jacked up. So now we're going to take everything loose from the engine, take the exhaust pipes off, take all the transmission bolts out, the torque converter bolts, and probably go ahead and take the engine mounts loose, possibly. Yeah, we're going to get everything loose underneath real quick, and then get this engine ripped out. This is actually the next day from when we was on the ground working on it. because I got caught up yesterday and had to come back to this today. So we're gonna get everything ripped loose underneath and then get I got this cover off right here, this bottom cover, and I'm looking at the torque converter bolts, and I'm sure y'all have already figured that out by now by watching the video, but I just realized we can't pull the torque converter bolts out because we can't spin the motor around to be able to get to all of them. So we'll just have to pull the torque converter with the motor out of the transmission. We'll have to pull it forward and get it out of the transmission and then come up. And then the torque converter is going to have to stay on there until we can get that engine to turn where we can get to all the bolts and take them out. So yeah, I just thought of that. So all we got to do now is take the bell housing bolts loose, which should be probably 6 of them, I believe. So we'll get those out and then should be able to start getting this thing off of here. We've got the truck back on the ground. I got everything loose underneath that I could get to. So there should be, I think, 2 more bell housing bolts up on the top. And then take the motor mounts loose and get the AC compressor off. I'm going to leave the AC compressor hooked up and just unbolt it from the engine and leave it there. So we're going to get the rest of that taken a look. Alright, we got the truck out of here, cleaned up. The engine is now out of the truck, and it is disgusting. And after we got it out, we stuck a pry bar down in there, then tried to turn it. It will not move. So Cody has actually been able to reach in between here and take the torque converter bolts out. So we'll be able to get the torque converter off and take the flex plate off and then put our engine stand on it. Oh, there we go.
She's a hefty one.
It's rusted on there. There we go. There we go. That's off. Well, there we go. Now I need an engine stand. Alright, I'm going to carry this thing outside real quick. Outside the back door where the pressure washer is. And I'm going to degrease this thing and pressure wash it really good. That way it'll be cleaner when we get the engine stand. Daddy's actually going to bring our old one back home from his work because he needed it at work. I wanted to buy a new one, but I was just thinking to myself, I don't need to spend the money, so I didn't buy a new one from Harbor Freight. Even though I really wanted one because it would be 10 times nicer than the one we have, I just not feasible. I need to just work with what I got and quit buying tools every day at Harbor Freight because I love Harbor Freight. I'm addicted. But anyways, we're going to push this thing outside and get it cleaned. Alright, that's good enough. As you can see, I'm using WD-40 degreaser, and I'm using a spray can because we have a buddy that gets us a bunch of WD-40 stuff for free, and he's amazing. Our buddy that does that is absolutely, he's the best. But the reason I'm using the spray can is because we've got crap tons of it, and we're out of the regular squirt bottle kind, so I'm just using that kind because that's what I have. So I'm gonna let that sit a little while and then probably come back and spray it again and then hit it with the pressure washer. Alright, we got it washed up. It's not great, but it's a heck of a lot better. And it's still stuff just caked on there, but it's better than it was. It's going to be good enough to get started, so I'm going to just let that sit out here and dry for a while, and then I'll probably put it up on the engine stand later this afternoon. But for now, I'm probably going to go back to the deer stand and see if I can kill a deer or something. So I'll see y'all after a while. Alright, we got the engine back in here and on the engine stand. Daddy and Cody actually did that while I was in the deer stand. So it's on the engine stand. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the coils off. Take all the accessories off the front, water pump, bracket. Going to take the engine mounts off and the exhaust manifolds off, and then we'll actually tear into this inside of this engine. All the outside stuff off. So now I'm going to take the valve covers off, get the heads off of it, take the valley cover off, or the lifter cover, whatever you want to call that, off, and then front timing cover and oil pan. Probably oil pan and then front timing cover, and we'll see what the inside of this engine looks like. I've got a question. I've never torn into one of these engines before, but all the rocker arms and the springs are like It looks like they're like charcoal. It's like the texture of charcoal, and it's nice and black. This side doesn't quite look like that. I don't know. It's kind of gross, but we'll take those off next. This side is way nastier. Look at it. It looks like. Look at that.
Video?
Yeah. That's gross.
Yeah. That's gross.
That is
I
weird.
think inside the cylinder is more like that.
Yeah.
Get out.
10mm.
Each TV hooked up. What good? Is it a smart TV?
The same TV y'all used to have before Wyatt threw a sword at it.
Was it a smart one?
We were watching TV hooked up.
What's
I got
that
an
thing
extra
slide off, or
You
is
need
it
to
got-
come see it later.
Has it got things on it?
Should have
It
dowels.
should
Should have dowels, but I'll hold it. Right there. What are these little things
You have
about?
to take that off.
Ooh, gross.
Goodness.
What the heck
That
is
thing had a
Yeah, Daddy,
that
that
blowed
was the
head
sidewall.
gasket. Blowed head gasket.
Grab the
and
camera,
and
Mike. Look at what we have there.
That's got to be
What would
it was.
cause that?
If it was running and they parked it and it sat there for a long time, yeah, water seep into those.
What if it had a blowed head gasket?
Yeah.
Look, what is that?
Looks like something in the water jar.
Gross.
Whoa.
That is disgusting. What?
The two back ones
Girlfriend.
look kind of normal, but they're full of water.
Well, the spark plugs were out of it, and I washed it, and the intake was
That's
open.
Yeah, me
nasty.
and Daddy looked at that part over there earlier with the.
That is.
I don't think they're that bad. It's that bad.
I need to snap a picture of that to send to Johnny.
Just grab.
Tell him at least his engine doesn't look like this.
Yeah, how does his engine look on the inside?
Real good compared to that. It's got to be rebuilt.
Ah, yeah, this side.
This side looks.
Way better.
Yeah, that thing
Looks
had
alright.
to have had a blowed head gasket on the other side.
Cool. I got it too.
Look here. Piece of silicone in the water jacket.
Huh?
There's a piece sticking out over here. Look. Piece of black silicone sticking out of this little hole. Interesting.
What year is it?
I think 2000. I think that's what it is.
Wow.
No, I even grabbed your Milwaukee impact and it wouldn't touch it.
Wow.
got a little, you can see it, wear marks on it right there. Dang.
Line off. Yeah, there you go. That's the more better technique.
Yeah, that's a much better technique.
Look, there's no point in touching it. They're bad.
Cody, you know how Hughes truck has low
Full
oil pressure?
That
Right
seal
there.
right there.
Yeah, there's a seal right there. There's my 13 right there. That O-ring right there is what goes bad, and that's what's wrong with Hughes truck right now. Up, it'll expand. There's no markings on it, I'm telling you.
Well, it goes lock to lock. Always lock to lock. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah,
So
bearing lock to bearing
as
lock.
far
Right.
as
I'm just
I don't
talking
think the
about-
rods are going to be numbered for each cylinder.
Right, that's what I was wondering if these were
And the
numbered.
pistons are usually marked like what goes towards the front.
Something's gone through this bearing.
You know what? The pistons are usually.
I can feel that with my fingernail.
That's terrible. You hear me?
Yeah.
The pistons are usually marked, you know, where, like to the front.
Yeah, that's what. I'll try not to.
Oh no, you get sawdust in it. Come on, man.
And I probably actually shouldn't be banging on that, cause
Probably
that's,
not, because that's a mating surface.
Yeah. What an idiot.
Did you bust it? Oh,
No,
is it
they're
made like that?
cracked caps.
Cracked caps?
Yep.
What does that mean?
Instead of cutting them off, they break
Ah.
it off. That way the brake lines perfectly back up when you put your caps on.
Ah. Dang. Cool.
Rings are stuck.
Goes just like that.
Just like so.
And that is number
2. No.
Where you gonna put it? It don't
It'd be
matter.
what?
You ain't going back together with this one anyway.
1, 2.
Hey, that rod's bent.
That's what I thought.
It sure is.
I thought it.
That rod is bent.
Here.
Look at that.
Oh, you know why?
Blowed head gasket. It
Right.
had water on top of the cylinder.
So that means that one didn't. That's one of the better cylinders, but yeah.
I
it had
thought-
all kind
I
of
thought it
water
looked
leaking.
bent.
I bet you this thing got overheated being a company truck.
Wow.
That rod is bent.
I need to take a picture of that.
Here, Daddy, let me see it.
Hold it. Let me wipe my hands off. I want to take a picture.
But in theory, that would be number.
I don't know how this.
To get out.
Knock her out, John.
that one bent?
I
don't think this one's bent. That pin's seized up.
Is that one of the bad cylinders?
That's this one. No, the bad cylinders are over here.
It moves slightly.
Cool. Let's get them all
There
out.
you go.
You just using that? Well,
Is that one straight?
I think so.
some leverage.
You're gonna bend the 3/8 extension inch.
Yeah, this thing's stuck.
That's junk. That's junk.
Let's see, is any of these lined up where I could pry off of them? No.
Just smack it right there. Grab your hammer and
I might could pry
Smack
off of that
it.
one. That thing is probably not going to move for anything.
I think you're wasting your time even tearing it down.
True.
true.
I know you just want to see it a little more, but I mean, if you can't get it apart, I mean, it ain't no good.
Yeah. Alright, we are done with this thing for tonight. Cody put some WD-40 and some rust remover in these holes. I don't think there's any point. I think it may end up being better just for Bennett to find a crate motor, a rebuilt motor, instead of us getting this one rebuilt. I think in the long run that might end up being more cost effective. So hopefully this one's still good for a core. I don't know. I don't know if it's good for a core anymore. But if it is, I guess I'll have to throw it back together. That way it can be sent in as a core. But anyways, that's all for today on tearing this engine down. We probably won't even bother to tear it down any further until we figure out what he wants to do. So that is it for this video. Alright guys, I've been editing this video, and at the end, that's the last thing we videoed that I showed you. We actually decided to take the complete engine to the machine shop that we use, because they told us that if we let them do all the work to it, they can do the entire thing, machining it, putting it all back together with new parts, $2,300, as long as they don't have to get more than one rod. And also it comes with a 1-year warranty if we let them do all the work. So we were like, heck yeah, let's do that, because that doesn't seem like a bad price, $2,300. And also, if I built it myself, I couldn't give Bennett a 1-year warranty on the engine. I could on the labor, but as far as like all the parts, if a part gave out in the engine due to some unknown variable, then I couldn't really warranty that. Anyways, that's what we ended up doing. We took the engine up there, and we're still waiting on it. It's been a month and a half now, and they still haven't gotten to it. But I don't know if it is in y'all's part of the country, but in where we live, machine shops are very, very few and far between, and the ones that are reputable are extremely busy. So they've done good work for us before, so I'm sure they'll do good work once they finally get to this engine. So when we get the engine back, we'll be back with part 2 of putting the engine, all like exterior components, back on the engine and getting it put in the truck and running. So that's it for this video. Thank y'all for watching. If you made it to the end, you actually know what we decided to do. If you didn't make it to the end, you should have. So anyways, thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.